So the sine law, here we go. Trig quiz number 4. Solve the following. So they want me to find x. Do I have a pair? Those two go together, and those two go together. And Joe, that's what I draw in my mind. I don't want to draw that in real life because it's really going to gum up the triangle. But in my mind, I'm going pair, pair. Oh, and here I know both of those. This is what I'm going to use to find everything else. It's going to look like this. The sine of 41 over 19.8 equals the sine of 103 over x. Now what, Jordan? Yes, I did that with your mouth full on purpose. By the way, if you ever go out with a friend for dinner, you can have a lot of fun and they won't notice that you're doing it. Every time they take a bite, ask a question. And they will feel so stupid because they'll be sitting there, well, and then they'll answer your question and thank you. And just wait. And then as soon as you take another bite, ask a question. It's a lot of fun. If you keep that up for half an hour, honestly. No, am I the only? Really? Thank you. I see how I stalled. Waited for you. I think you're going to get this. 19.8 sine of 103 divided by sine of 41. Right? You get 29.4? 29.4, 29.41 if you went to, well, I said 1 decimal place. 2 marks each. 1 mark for having that, 1 mark for the answer. If you got the answer right, you can get 2 out of 2. But otherwise, the way I mark these on the test is I give you 1 mark for being able to set the equation up. Number 2. It's going to be sine of 80 over, what goes with the 80, Joe? Yeah. What goes with the 80, Joe? Yes. Sine of 80 over 3.6 equals sine of 38 over a. Cross multiply. Oh, I got a latecomer. Pause the video. So there's my equation. I think it's going to be 3.6 sine 38 divided by sine 80. Is the answer 2.25? Or 2.3, I guess, to 1 decimal. Is it? Yes? If you put 2.25, I'm good. Again, 1 mark for the equation, 1 mark for the answer. Number 3, it's going to be sine of 106 over 12.4 equals sine of 32 over r. I went to go see a pirate movie the other day, but I couldn't get in because it was rated R. Sorry, I never get tired of that joke. Well, someone liked it. Cross multiply, or as Jordan would say, yep. 12.4 sine 32 equals, or sorry, divided by sine 106. You get 6.8? Yeah. Uh-oh, I don't have a pair. Oh, wait a minute. I got 2 angles, then I know the third one. 180 minus 70 is 110 minus 48. Well, 110 minus 50 would be 62? Is that, yes? I do subtraction in my head in kind of a weird way, but it works for me. So it's going to be sine of 62 over 12.6 equals, what are they asking me to find? Oh! I got sneaky. I didn't tell you where to put it. I just said little d. Which of these sides would be little d? The left side or the right side? The right side. So that's going to go with the 48. 1 mark for that. Mr. Dueck. Yes, Emily. If we can cross multiply on our calculator without showing work, are you okay with that? I think in your homework, great. In fact, I would love it if you could go straight from here and you've done so much cross multiplying that you've kind of clued in what happens with the numbers and you spotted the pattern and you can go straight to here. On a, oh, except typing it correctly, Mr. Dueck. On a test, I probably would show that step. Is it 10.6? Oh, finding an angle. Okay. Sine 71 over 4.3 equals sine. Joe, what always goes next to the trig function? And in this case, it's angle theta. You could put an x there if you really wanted to. But, over what goes with 2.9. Now here I'm still going to cross multiply. I think when I cross multiply, I'm going to get 2.9 sine 71 divided by 4.3. I get sine theta equals 0.63767. Sine theta equals 0.63767. Is that what I said? 5, blah, blah. I don't care because I don't want that. Danielle, how do I find the angle? Yeah. And please clue it, find where your answer button is. Emily, on the TIs, its second function negative is your answer button on these. 39.6 degrees. And number 6. 68, 14.2. Sine 68 over 14.2 equals the sine of mystery angle x over 10.1. I think you're going to get that. Do you get 41.3? I'll take 41.2 because it all depends on how you rounded off this answer. 41.2 or 3. So you get sine theta equals 0.659. Sine x equals 0.659. And what did I say it was? 41.3 degrees. Give yourself a score out of 12, please. Make sure your name is on it. And then pass them inwards. Questions from the homework 2 and 6. Okay. What do they want me to find? First of all, they give me a lovely picture. Hey, that's nice. It says a tower is supported by 2 guy wires. By the way, guy wires, when you see a telephone pole and you see that steel cable going from partway down at an angle, it's called a guy wire. It's a support pole, so support wire. They're attached on the same side of the tower, and they're in line with the base of the tower. In other words, they're in a straight line with each other, so we don't need to go three-dimensional. I said three-dimensional trig, it's a whole other ballgame. The wires are 810 meters and 650 meters long. Okay, this is a big tower. 810 meters, that's almost a kilometer-long wire. I think these numbers might be made up, but that's okay. The shorter wire makes an angle of 65 degrees with the ground. What angle does the long... Okay, they want me to find... Matt, that right there. This is how my strategy goes. If I can't see it right away, and some of you will just see it right away, usually what I'll try doing is picking up the triangle that I'm interested in and redrawing it. Is that okay so far? What haven't I used? You know what I haven't used yet? This. Why did they tell me this? How big is this angle? All right, smarty pants, then how big is that angle, which is also conveniently that angle? You really think they're both the same? What do these two form together? Straight line. Oh, what do we call that rule? Sup? Hey! How big is this angle? 115. And now I say to you, Matt, my friend, do I have a pair now? Yeah, sine law. Now, you okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. The key is just that first step for most of these. Now I can get the angle. And which one was the other one, kiddo? 6? Okay. What do they want me to find here? That. Now, I noticed there's three triangles here. Great big huge triangle, which I think I'm going to ignore. Left hand skinny triangle. Right hand right angle triangle. So I'm going to draw this one first. Where that's x, that's a right angle, and that's 15. I'm going to draw this one, 10. Oh, it's not 10, it's 100, Mr. Dueck. And this is 9 degrees. And I'm going to ask one more clever question. Or does anybody see it right now? Because sometimes just drawing this, some people go, oh! We're going to have to hopscotch here. And let's see how I can find x. Oh, there's one more thing, by the way. How big is this angle? How big is that angle, Smarty Pants? Okay. Cool. Okay. What? First of all, I also then would know how big this angle is for that matter. 9 degrees, 165 degrees. How big is this one up here? Can you go 165, sorry, 180 minus 165 minus 9? Oh, I think it's 6 degrees up here. I can do the math in my head. Yeah? Yeah. Oh. Do I have a pair? You said cosine law, which I could, by the way. Use all the cosine law. It's always more work. Now I say, oh, I've got a pair. These two go together. And could I find this side right here, which is also this side right here, which is the hypotenuse? Oh, and now SOHCAHTOA. And I would consider this fair game for your test. Not as, hey, question number 1, easy question, but I would consider this as, Emily, fair game for your last couple of questions. A two-stepper like this? Absolutely not. As long as I gave you something of a picture to get you started. Any other questions? Okay, I got 2 things for you. And that'll be it till sort of spring break in theory. So here's trig quiz number 5. Joe, can you see how I'm cheating just a tiny bit? I did the triangle, but the longest part isn't drawing the triangle. The longest part when I'm typing these up is getting the stupid numbers shrunk down and dragging them carefully. You got to nudge them over and don't, now another line moved. It's a pain. So I've just listed them over here. So let's label triangle 1 just for practice. What's it going to look like? Sierra, what does this say? Let's put a 40 right there. Emily, what does this say? Okay, what's little a? AB, BC, or AC? Which of these sides is little a? And what's the third thing it gives me, Courtney? Big C or little c? Because that's going to make a difference. Okay, little c. What's little c? AB or AC? What am I asking you to find? Everything else. Find big C, find big B, find little b. Decide, first of all, well, is there a right angle in this, Jordan? So no SOHCAHTOA. Ask, is there a pair? If there is, you can use the sine law. Otherwise, using the cosine law. 6 marks, probably 2 marks for each one. Okay? Question 2, I don't ask you to find everything. I just said find little k. I'll let you think about which side is little k. So part of what I'm quizzing you on here, Johnson, is do you know how to label these triangles? Turn the page over. Question 3, find everything. I've given you these 3 things. Label them carefully. Question 4, find everything. Turn the page over again. Question 5, find everything. Question 6, oh, here's a two-triangle question. Now, at the top of the page, I gave you the sine law, I gave you the cosine law, and I also did one more thing. I went through the trouble of getting the cos of A by itself in the cosine law without numbers. If you're looking for a shortcut, if you're using the cosine law to find an angle, you can go straight to this line here if you want to, Courtney. Put little a there, little b there, little c there, little b there, little c there. Carefully type it in. You'll get a decimal, and then go shift cos to find the angle. So if you want to go straight to that little shortcut, I'll give you that on the test too, this version of the cosine law where I rewrote it to get the cos A by itself. Okay? That's part 1 of today. So, applications of the sine law. You may also find some on here that you can use the cosine law for, either as a shortcut or you might have to. This one here, very deliberately, Jordan, there's no answers this time. We'll go over it. I'll either give you an answer key Thursday or I'll give it to you after spring break. Lots and lots of questions. Most of these use the sine law. There's a total of how many? 16 questions. Lots of practice. That's your work for today. Take-home quiz first. This applications of the sine law probably I'll actually collect after spring break, but if you have it done for Thursday of next week, great as well. Go ahead. No, I bumped it. Okay. It's going to be after spring break. Any questions at all? You're all good? So, I'm shutting up. Give me a second here.